Good day, everyone. My name is Adeni Sonyaolu. Here is my ID on display, and I will be making a presentation on SEMA technologies as part of the coursework for the strategy and global economics module. My presentation will follow this outline. I'll do an introduction on the company. I will talk about some notable successes that the company has recorded over time. I'll talk about the growth paths that are being considered, and then I will go through the assessment I carried out on the various growth paths, which are centered around risk assessment and comparative analysis to arrive at my conclusion on the preferred option. As a way of introduction, the company was founded in 1997 by Suez Qatar as a project-based IT service company operating out of the United States, California to be specific. The early stages of the company, it recorded some notable successes as captured or depicted in the profile on display. You can see a revenue profile, and you can see the growth across the first 4 years of the company. Unfortunately, this growth was truncated by the dot-com bust in 2001, and as a result, to mitigate against such future occurrence and to actually restore the company back on the path of growth, the company has had to go through various diversification and verticalization, basically just pivoting the business in different directions. As we speak, it has fully evolved into a platform-driven analytics company focused on providing solutions within the life science space. And as we speak, it's currently exploring three main growth options to enable it realize its aspirations. So just to give a high-level summary of some of the successes recorded by the company from inception till date, I've organized it, along the lines of the initiatives taken, the events tied to those initiatives, the impact recorded, and the enablers. My base assumption for this presentation is that the audience is familiar with the coursework material, so I wouldn't go into too much details. But just to start on the initiatives, the first is transitioning from a service to a product-based company. I mentioned that earlier, and the impact of this was that following that transition, the company recorded significant growth margins, and it was well positioned for vertical specialization. The enabler for this success is the founder's vision. The second of such initiative is creating strong partnerships to ensure sustainable growth. The company had to go into some kind of partnership with some of its clients, which included major companies like Cisco, Unilever. And what this did for the company is to help it develop a rich and a diversified client base. The enabler for this is customer-centric approach. Another initiative is technological advancement. As the company evolved and it began to grow and having some resources at its disposal, it became an attractive proposition for various talents that came in, brought their skill sets to bear, and helped the company to launch a core innovation lab to partner with clients on AI-enabled solutions like predictive modeling, patient selection. And what this did was to significantly enhance the brand from a competence standpoint, and to actually position them as an industry leader in that space. Of course, the enabler for this is innovation culture, dexterity, and does that technological know-how. The other initiative here is a funds raising initiative, which was as a follow-up of some of the challenges posed by the board of the company, to the leadership of the company. Of course, pivoting from a service-based company to a product-based company will require some investments or capital injection. And as following that fundraising exercise, the company was able to raise about $35 million from a single institutional investor. What this helped them do is to accelerate product development, and of course, the fact that they had this kind of resource at their disposal also helped them to bring in talent that help them to develop such products. And of course, this has revenue implication once those products are developed to the market. And what this did was to really give them some kind of credibility in the industry, and a key enabler for this is smart capital development. The last of such initiative is that strategic vertical focus, basically honing in on the life sciences industry or domain. One of the things they did here was to actually develop a key product called the LSA-AAC, and the impact of this was a 50% year-on-year growth for 3 consecutive years, which really enhanced the brand and also gave them like a credibility within the industry, and really enhanced their profile. And the enabler for this is domain specialization. Now, for the 3 growth paths that are being considered, I've listed them here. The first is customer acquisition, essentially hunting for new clients. The second is customer development. Here you're farming, and by that you're expanding and deepening your existing relationships and accounts with your current customers. And the third is product innovation, whereby you are developing and you are deploying emerging technologies, particularly in the AI space, to drive your growth. What I have done here is to actually analyze each of these growth paths from a risk assessment standpoint, and as you can see, I have listed the risk associated with each of the growth paths, and also listed the associated mitigation strategies for each of those identified risks. I won't be able to dive into the details here, but just to give examples, for customer development, cross-sale fatigue from existing clients is a major risk, and to mitigate that, you develop clear return on investment and quick win pilots. For customer acquisition, you would imagine that implementation, especially from a sales cycle standpoint, would be an issue, and high cost of customer acquisition would also be a key risk you have to contend with. To mitigate this risk, focus on mid-sized life science firms will be important, and use of land and expand pilots will be critical. For the third growth path, product innovation, I have key risk as uncertainty on how the markets would actually receive some of these new products as a key risk, and of course a high cost associated with the research and development needed to actually develop some of these new products are key risk. And I've listed the mitigations here: co-develop with clients via innovation, leveraging AI, and then you prioritize incremental enhancements. Basically, you're scaling some of those solutions. The second assessment here is just a comparative analysis, in which case I have identified some critical criteria, and I've actually analyzed the performances of each of these growth path options against those criteria. And as you can see, some of those criteria include strategic fit, alignment with capabilities, financial gain, implementation risk, time to impact, resource requirement. I have highlighted the positive responses or the positive performances in green for the different growth paths. Those negative performances in red, and those that are just in between intermediate I've highlighted in gray. And as you can see, the greens really stack up for customer development growth path or growth option, which is my reason for actually selecting that growth option or growth path as my preferred and recommended growth path for SEMA technologies. Sorry I wasn't able to dive into details. I'm a bit constrained about time. For references, these are my list of references. Thank you very much for listening to my presentation. Thank you.